Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right in because we are bringing some much-needed structure and honestly, some genuine enthusiasm to a topic that literally affects millions of us. Yet somehow, it's rarely discussed with a clear, practical, and totally judgment-free framework. Today, we're diving straight into the mechanics of human intimacy.
So how do you find intimacy when you just feel like ships passing in the night? It's a really heavy reality for so many couples out there. I mean, between careers, the kids, and just the endless, exhausting demands of daily life, our bodies are constantly pumping out cortisol and adrenaline. It is incredibly common to feel completely disconnected from a long-term partner, right? You end up navigating this seemingly endless dry spell where your bodies are changing, the stress compounds, and physical connection just completely drops off the radar.
But check out this incredibly empowering quote from world-renowned sex specialist Dr. Susan Bratton. This completely shifts the mindset. As she puts it, great intimacy isn't just found by luck. You don't just magically stumble upon your perfect sexual soulmate. Instead, it's deliberately built, it's maintained, and you continuously co-create it with your partner through learned skills. It's a lot like a giant puzzle you build together.
Okay, so here's our structured roadmap to transform routine into extraordinary connection. First up, we'll look at the passion problem. Then, the anatomy of arousal, communication without pressure, techniques for lasting pleasure, and we'll wrap up with the power of novelty. Let's get to it.
Starting off with Section 1, the passion problem, we're going to demystify the dry bedroom right now. Absolutely zero blame placed on either partner.
So when that connection fades and the tools just aren't there, couples often fall into a really common trap. It's called mercy sex. Basically, this is when one partner throws the other a bone out of guilt or obligation, just to keep the peace. But here's the thing. When that shiny new relationship energy wears off and neither person actually understands how the other's body truly works, relying on obligation just turns intimacy into a chore rather than a joy.
Moving right along to Section 2, the anatomy of arousal. Let's close the gap between the actual biological reality of human pleasure and that rushed kindergarten-level version of sex we always see in the movies.
We've all heard the golden rule, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. Well, actually, scratch that for the bedroom, because it completely misfires. See, men typically have straight biological chutes for blood flow, allowing for super rapid arousal and a really goal-oriented focus in, like just a minute or two. But the female anatomy? It requires deep relaxation and emotional safety to allow blood to fill a vast internal network of erectile tissue before intercourse can actually feel good. So treating a partner the way you want to be treated, instead of how they actually need to be treated, is a super fast track to disconnect.
20 to 30. To put that into perspective, that is the crucial number of minutes it takes for a woman's body to fully relax, get out of her head, and achieve the systemic engorgement necessary for deeply pleasurable sex. If you rush this, it just won't work. The tissue simply hasn't plumped up enough to send those massive pleasure signals to the brain.
Now, to help achieve that unhurried relaxation, we can use a really effective framing tool, adopting reverential terms like yoni. This honors the female body as a whole, creative, and passionate center. Practices like a slow, focused yoni massage encourage that 20 to 30-minute blood flow without the heavy pressure of a finish line. It's all about building up arousal intentionally.
Right. Section 3. Communication without pressure. You simply cannot establish that necessary relaxation without creating a safe harbor first. Listen, if you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, let it be this. Removing the heavy, guilt-inducing word should from your vocabulary is mandatory. We should be having sex, or we should be like that other couple. Those external comparisons create this incredibly corrosive pressure. And think about it. If someone feels pressured, they feel stressed. And if they feel stressed, their body literally cannot relax into arousal. It's a complete roadblock.
So to counter that pressure, you can try something called a menu of small offers. This is such a powerful communication tool to help a stressed partner get out of their head and back into their body safely. Think of it like a menu. It starts with setting a relaxing environment, maybe wrangling the kids, lighting a candle, laying out warm towels. Then you explicitly state there is zero expectation of intercourse tonight, none. Finally, you just offer to hold each other. That non-demanding physical touch generates oxytocin, which is the absolute ultimate antidote to our daily cortisol.
Okay, into Section 4, techniques for lasting pleasure. Now that the pressure is totally off and safety is established, let's open up the practical toolkit. Let's look at the me breath. For men dealing with performance anxiety or pacing issues, this specific 3-step body-based technique acts as a mental gas and brake pedal to master arousal. Instead of tensing up like a piston, you squeeze the PC muscle, you take a cool, deep breath, and use a pelvic rock to relax. Practicing this slows the whole shebang down and keeps you completely present in the moment.
Now prepare to be amazed by this one. There are over 20 different kinds of orgasms women can experience once we move past that basic, friction-focused sex modeled in mainstream media. 20! We're talking about totally different locations to touch, specific techniques to use, and utilizing various tools of desire to unlock a vast, expansive landscape of pleasure.
And that brings us to the ultimate goal for many, the expanded orgasm. Instead of a simple one-and-done finish, this technique trades harsh friction for continuous, mindful connection. By using incredibly light touch on fully engorged tissue, it stretches a single moment of climax into a continuous 10, 20, or even 30-plus minute wave of pleasure. It's essentially treating intimacy as a really deep mindfulness practice. Finally, Section 5, the power of novelty. Because we all want to know, how do we keep this flame alive over a lifetime?
It comes down to this definitive equation: safety plus novelty equals desire. Once you establish that deep safety and trust through honest communication and non-demanding touch, you absolutely must introduce consistent novelty to keep the animal brain engaged. If you just have safety, well, it gets boring and the flame goes out. You need new adventures to generate new relationship energy and spark genuine, burning desire. This is where the Sex Life Bucket List comes in, and it's a brilliantly simple tool. It allows couples to map out erotic playdates safely and playfully. You just categorize your ideas. The A list is for things you definitely want to try, like maybe a new arousal oil or a massage technique. The B list is for things you're open to exploring down the line. And the C list? That just means not right now. But hey, never say never. It completely removes the fear of rejection, because you're only ever working off the mutually agreed upon A list. It introduces fun and novelty in a perfectly safe way.
So knowing that true intimacy takes time, it takes safety, and it requires a complete lack of pressure, what is one small, pressure-free offer you can make to your partner tonight? Think about it. Perhaps it's literally just holding them, listening without judgment, and kicking off your own passionate renaissance. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.